Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix, and this is the 2022 Aston Martin DBX. Yes, Aston Martin, like James Bond. And in 106 years of manufacturing, Aston Martin has never made an SUV. This is the first. However, there are some changes for the 2022 model year. We're going to show you that. We're going to have you listen to the exhaust system, which is super impressive. We'll talk about that interesting partnership with Mercedes on the driveline. And of course, we'll take it for a drive and you're going to join us. Let's get started with looking at this vehicle. I love this yellow pearl paint. It is amazing. Of course, there's an extra upcharge fee for it, but the look of this vehicle is very aggressive, and there is a ton of competitors in this category. We'll start off with these headlights. You can see they're all LED, very cool. That Aston Martin look continues, including the grille, very similar to the DBS and the other vehicles that we've also reviewed. Going further down, you're going to see that these are functional vents. You need to cool this power plant down. There is a ton of horsepower coming out, which means you need that ventilation to cool it down. You'll also see that these ducts here are functional, and that's important. Also, there's lighting around these ducts. They really did a nice job on the design. I think that's one of the top things with Aston Martin. It's all very James Bond. It's all put together. It's exquisite, and you'll see that on the inside as well. When it comes to wheels, 22-inch are standard. There's optional 23-inch. Ours have been optioned in matte black, and they run on Pirelli performance tires. Really nice looking, and gargantuan brakes because you need to stop this beast. It has a lot of go power, so it needs whoa power. One of the things you're going to notice with this V8 engine is it needs ventilation here for cooling, and these are functional, and these vents right here also have a ridge for airflow because this is about aerodynamics. This vehicle handles super well because Aston Martin has a racing history, and they need to continue that into their street cars. As the old saying goes, race on Sunday or win on Sunday, sell on Monday, and they've been doing that. You'll see this trim piece here, really nicely done. Again, more ductwork here to escape some of that heat from those big brakes. You'll notice that everything down here is really nicely designed. Flat handles, which don't pop out when you unlock the vehicle. That's important to note. I was trying to find a way to make them pop out for you, but literally that's to unlock. That opens the door. So it's not the same as you'd see on some of the other vehicles where those door handles pop out. Going further back, you're going to see some really muscular haunches on this vehicle. And this is very much true when you're talking about a Porsche Cayenne as well. People want a more muscular car if you've got that muscular performance. When you come around to the back and you look at this upper wing, there is actually airflow here. This vehicle was designed like a race car. It was not designed like all the rest of the SUVs that we review. And you can see that LED running light all the way across the back. Very sexy. Aston Martin to let everyone know, yeah, I'm James Bond. Or maybe you'd like to be. We've got the logo here as well, all matted out. But this is something that's really awesome. The exhaust system of this vehicle, which we're going to listen to in just a second, is all perforated here. You can see for cooling, and it actually is open. It's not just looks. And a big throaty exhaust system that is super impressive. Then you've got this rear valance here, nice and shiny. They really did a nice job making this vehicle look classy, still exquisite, which Aston Martin is all about. But there's so much more. Let's take a look under the hood. Under the hood is a Mercedes AMG sourced powerful 542 horsepower 4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine. Backed by a 9-speed automatic transmission, all-wheel drive is standard with an active transfer case. There are 6 selectable drive modes, 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds. Top speed is 181 miles an hour. If that isn't fast enough for you, there's a DBX 707 that offers even more power. When it comes to technology and features, there is a dial, there is no touchscreen, which I find very frustrating personally. Again, that's a personal thing. I think it's more of a distraction to try and find the buttons because of how tight everything is here. The navigation itself is really nice and crystal clear. It's easy to use. That's not a problem. Going back to the audio system, you've got, of course, your standard audio system. It's beautiful. It's a 14-speaker setup, surround sound. It is spectacular, as I wouldn't expect anything less. Media, you can set up your media if you wish. Again, whatever Bluetooth device you want. And Apple CarPlay is standard for 22. Again, you can connect your phone. This is Aston Martin Connect for your Apple CarPlay. Going further over, you get your vehicle controls, which includes all of your drive modes. And this is kind of interesting. I wanted to show you, when you go into the different drive modes, you can get your engine data. Very, very cool. Really nicely done. You can go down and get your vehicle data if needed. Again, the graphics are spectacular. And again, you can adjust the height of the vehicle by one of the buttons right on the left side or right side of the dial. Going further down, you can go up to your individual configuration and set up the suspension, the steering, the drive, and of course, my favorite, the exhaust note. Nothing like making the vehicle sound fabulous. Also, when you get into this mode, you can go over here. You've got all your driver assistance. Again, there is no lane change departure, but I don't personally care, but a lot of people do. I've heard a lot of feedback on that. You got your active brake assist. There's a lane keeping assist, but there is no lane change departure. Blind spot detection, absolutely required, because visibility without that is going to be pretty ugly. Your consumption, if you own a car like this, you don't care. Your lighting is spectacular. You got ambient lighting as well, and your vehicle settings are all in here, including towaway mode and acoustic lock. A lot of neat things. A lot of neat little things, entry, exit. Just things that people want on this vehicle. Again, it has to be done through that center dial. Whether you're going through the audio system, Bluetooth connections, and so forth, it's all right here. In the center, you're looking at that TFT, that LCD cluster. There's different drive modes. As you press the button, you can see the different drive modes. It actually is designed, this I find kind of amusing, because I would never take this vehicle off-road, even though it's capable. There's Terrain Plus if you're really going to do some off-roading. Very expensive car to do that. But then again, Range Rover does it as well. You've got your terrain mode if you're doing some off-roading, GT for your regular driving, individual, and sport, and my favorite, Sport Plus. And you can see the gauges change. You can see everything about it change. It really is very cool. This I found very interesting. When you see Aston Martin, you usually see a crystal key. They're very expensive. It says Aston Martin on the side. This thing is $1,100. At that point, I would like to see it all crystal. Of course, if you drop it, that would be very expensive. Underneath the center console, which has all your drive modes and everything you need for hill descent if you're off-roading, your cameras, your auto start stop, which I want off personally, lane departure, and shutting off the screen. Going underneath is a wireless charger. Nice location here. It actually allows you to put some stuff underneath or some garbage, whatever it is that we like to put our things, because you do have a center console, but you also have a glove box. Inside the glove box, you've got more connection ports. It's nice and deep, and that's really good. Of course, if you've got a radar detector, you'd have to drag that cord all the way across here. And the one thing I found funny is that is where you open the hatch for the vehicle. It's underneath the center console, so it's a little awkward to get to. Visibility standard is a 360 camera and parking sensing, which I believe you need, especially in a vehicle like this, because you can't really see out the back. So you got to use those cameras to your advantage. When it comes to the seats, these sport seats are super sexy, very comfortable. They're heated, they're ventilated, 3-staged, and they're an additional $2,600. Absolutely a must, in my opinion. Here in the second row, there is a ton of leg and headroom. You have a beautiful panoramic roof. The sills are a bit high, but remember, this is a sports SUV. This is really, really about design and performance, not necessarily about comfort, but there is room for 2 child safety seats. This center console pulls down, 2 cup holders. It's 40, 20, 40 split seats, so you can adjust it as needed. These sport seats are pretty fabulous, and behind the seats are just 2 little spots for storage. Behind the center console is vents, climate control, locking and unlock, and 2 USB ports, and vents on the B-pillar so that you can be comfortable back here as well. Great luxury, great style, great materials, and beautiful workmanship. The first thing you're going to notice in this vehicle is a driving machine. 0 to 60 is 3.9 seconds. Like I said, if you want faster, you got to go for that other DBX trim level, but again, the price is going to go up with it. The top speed's 180 plus miles an hour. Hopefully you'll do that on a track. This vehicle could go on a track. It has an aluminum suspension. It's really nicely designed, much like that of what you would see in the race cars. And the reason that they did that was they wanted to make sure that when people are driving this vehicle, that you're getting an experience, and you are getting an experience without question. Just love getting on the performance of this vehicle. And you go into the different drive modes, and that was just the GT mode. Individual, you go into sport. Sounds great. We're going to launch off of this. Wait for traffic to clear. We're going to go into Sport Plus, do our 0 to 60 launch. We're going to wait for traffic to clear because I'm going to run up on the next vehicle. 3, 2. And that's 60. Wow. Great performance. really good handling and feel. Just as a race car driver, you can feel the power transitioning right to the ground. And that's part of that Mercedes AMG driveline that they're using as a partnership, which is actually really smart than trying to create everyone creating their own motors. You're seeing a lot of partnerships, and that gives you that great performance that you actually want. Let's try some passing power. Super easy. This is really nice. Sounds like a muscle car. It sounds like their DBS, their performance cars, has that same tone in it, which I think is really important. This car makes you smile, I have to say. Performance-wise, fabulous. Just a wonderful experience as far as the driving engagement. I find, like I said, that center screen is extremely frustrating to me. But other than that, this car has everything. Yes, they can fix that super easy. Touch screen, done. Safety features, this is such a safe car. I'm not worried about that part of it. If you want all those nannies, there's a lot of other vehicles out there for you to choose from. But overall, this vehicle really is fun to drive. A few little things that need to be improved, but we'll see changes on each year and each trim level as they improve, because this is new. They've never made an SUV before, and this is the first SUV from Aston Martin, and you got to really give it to them. They did a nice job, and that's why they're selling them like crazy. They looked at Lamborghini, they're selling the Urus. Porsche's selling Cayennes more than they are 911s. You know, even the Bentayga and the Cullinan even, they're selling SUVs because people want to have everything. I want a performance handling vehicle, and this qualifies. When it comes to cargo, it's pretty comparable to its competitors. 22 cubic feet of storage with that 40-20-40 seats. And then when you fold them down, you got 54 feet of cubic storage, pretty equivalent to that of a Porsche Cayenne. When it comes to pricing on the Aston Martin DBX, it starts at $180,000. Our test vehicle had a lot of goodies added onto it. And of course, you would want that too. The sport seats, the better exhaust, the bigger wheels, all that starts to add up really quickly, like any of the vehicles in this category. Starting at $180,000, our test vehicle came in at $220,000, which is a whole different set of competitors. You're looking at the Bentayga, even some of the other vehicles you may not be thinking about, like the Maserati. And when you start comparing these vehicles, you'll see that this vehicle has a lot of pluses. It is a beast. Great performance, squats and goes, much like a race car. Handling, fabulous. And of course, it looks amazing. Now on the negative side, there is nothing more frustrating to me than not having a touch screen. Having that dial to get to things is, to me, is more distracting. You can put that in your comments down below if you think that's not the case. I'm surprised that not all these safety features are standard. I don't like the nannies, but a lot of people want that lane departure. And again, that is not available on this vehicle. It is a very safe vehicle. However, when you don't have those safety features that people are used to, that sort of changes people's perspective of the vehicle unless you're a real driver. I also found a few other frustrations with the vehicle, like the door handles not popping out when you unlock it. Just means you got to put whatever you have down on the ground. And again, this vehicle is amazing, but these are things that need to be addressed if they wish to be the leader in the category. There's a lot more details on this vehicle that we didn't cover, so I'm sure you have some questions. Put it down in the comments down below. I will get you an answer. If you own a DBX, if you're an Aston Martin enthusiast, we want to hear about that. And if you would never own a British car, we'd like to hear your input on that as well. I know there's a lot of polarization and opinions from the sports car enthusiasts, so let's get that conversation going. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe, share it with your friends. If you want to see our website, our podcast, and our social media, it's all down in the description below. We appreciate your support on our Patreon page, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.